I sought an attorney back in 2014 because I lost my son inside of Cherokee County Jail. It was a criminal offense. I believe it was a failure to appear. That's what I was told, that he was picked up on by Fulton County Sheriff's Office, and they ran his name and found out he had a warrant for his arrest in Cherokee County. So they called Cherokee County to see if Cherokee County wanted to pick him up. They were aware that he wasn't feeling well at that time. Cherokee County said yes, they wanted to come and pick him up. They did. And they picked him up, and 3 days later, he was dead. What they told me, because I didn't even know that he was in Cherokee County, I received a knock on the door the morning of, which I believe was either a Saturday or a Sunday, from a DeKalb County police officer that informed me that I needed to call Cherokee County jail at a specific number. And so I said, "What's going on?" He says, "Just call the number." So I called the number and I spoke to one of the supervisors that was there, and he spoke to me as though I was aware that my son had died that morning. And it was really strange to me because he was having a common conversation with me. And I said, "Well, what are you trying to tell me?" He said, "Oh, you don't know?" I said, "No, what?" "Well, I'm sorry to tell you your son passed this morning." And that was how I was informed of it. And so once he informed me of that, of course I was distraught. I wanted to know all the details, what happened, how did this happen, when was he in there? Didn't know, because what I found out later on, that he had came in 3 days prior, and then 3 days later, he was dead. That didn't make sense to me. So I asked him for further details. He said it was under investigations, and he couldn't explain anything else to me, and then we got off the phone. Then I began to seek an attorney to figure out exactly what happened to my son, because shortly after I spoke with him, the next day, he was on the news, or the PO was on the news, saying that he died of some existing sickness. Really strange the way I found the Champion firm. I actually began to Google different attorneys to see if they would take the case. So I just started speaking to different attorneys. It was like, "Well, no, I'm not going to take this one." And then they referred me to another person. They said, "No, I don't think I want to take that case." And then I called another number, and the gentleman said, "Well, no, I don't do these kind of cases, but I have a friend that do." And I was referred to the Champion firm through that individual, and that's when I spoke to Mr. Champion. Well, first of all, one of the biggest things that I loved about Mr. Champion is his warm embrace of me. He'd never seen me before. He spoke to me only once on the phone prior, but I felt so warm and comfortable. I felt like this is the place I need to be, because he embraced me and he was very sensitive to what the situation was, even though he didn't have much information at all. He just had basically what I told him at the time. And but one thing I'll never forget that he says, "I really wanted to take this case because I felt in my heart something was just not right with this case. If your son walked into jail alive, talking to everyone, and 3 days later he's in the morgue, that's a problem." And I really, really, really loved him for being able to observe and see that, and wanted to dig a little deeper into the case to find out exactly what actually happened. I believe a video was found of, I think it was outside of his cell, and you can actually see him walking past the window, and then he falls back hard, and all you see is his legs shaking, and you see a nurse peeking in, and then she walks away, and then officer peeks in and he walks away, and for 30 minutes he lays there on the floor. I believe he tried to adjust himself against the wall, but no one came to his aid. No one came in to see what was going on, and I guess the biggest problem I have is he was in respiratory distress. And then you go from respiratory distress to not doing anything at all, not moving, or maybe flittering your leg or something like that, and you don't come in and check for vital signs. You don't check for breath. You don't check for any signs of life. You do a quick peek, and that's it. I have a problem with that. I love them, all of them. Everyone that has assisted me, they have all of them, they have embraced me. I feel like tearing up right now because I've never experienced that much warmth from, people that have come to my aid to help me in such a situation such as this. I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know who to talk to. And I felt like it was a blessing that I was led to Darryl, or Mr. Champion, and to be embraced by people that didn't even know me. I felt so warm and comfortable. When I come in here, I don't know, my attorney feels like family to me. And one of the biggest things I love about Mr. Champion is that he returns phone calls. He actually talks to you. He keeps you abreast. If you're curious about anything and if he doesn't know the answer, he'll find the answer for you. I would recommend him to anybody and everybody because he's a wonderful attorney.